publishing split because I imagine that they had to pay Rob Thomas and Carlos Santana.
No, it's just that Latin. I don't know the exact genre, but it's like it's like R&B almost, where it's like you wouldn't, every 50 song is the same melody and chord progression. I think they're just like, this is Latin.
25% of publishing.
Although apparently,
25% of publishing.
Apparently one, I don't know how Disney does their stuff. Disney, I assume, owns everything, but they did have to credit the Frozen composers for saying "Let It Go" in the credits for one of the songs. It's like, and also "Let It Go" written by, and literally it's like a quotation that's let it out, let it go, and like that's it. But like that got them a reference. But of course, I assume Disney owns everything and doesn't have to pay extra to those composers and such.
No, they wouldn't. Yeah, they would just have to sign a release.
Right. And like the Frozen composers aren't going to sign the release when Disney's like, you need to sign this release.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and they also own the publishing company that owns the Santana song "Smooth." and while Santana is indeed credited, I'm sure that was just a release.
That's funny.
Man, that's insane. Chuck Anderson. Shanderson. Setting up the
there's our Chuck.
Can you give me permission to record, Keith?
Yeah, of course.
Chuck, you may want to close the blinds behind you.
That's the normal Chuck Halo.
Hello.
Hello.
Well,
Is that a coronavirus shirt?
Yes, it says, "I rebuke thee."
how novel.
I like it.
That's why.
Oh,
That's why it took me a year,
joke,
2
John.
years to get it.
The shirt or the virus?
Oh, the novel. I get it.
Yeah. See, John.
Good
John
job,
made a
John.
zinger. Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
All right, Chuck. Do you have an apology? Are you ready to go?
I don't have one. I don't know.
I mean,
Everything I predicted came true.
yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe for whispering last episode, it felt like I might have been a little low volume.
A little low energy, a little low volume. That works.
All right.
That works. I like it. That will do.
Sound like season 1 up in this bitch. Hey guys.
First 5 episodes were.
Welcome to.
I think they've disappeared. I think iTunes only goes back like 500.
Really?
Yeah, or maybe it might only be 300.
It is 300.
Yeah, so
Are they not on a cloud somewhere?
they're available. They're still all on Spreaker. You can go to Spreaker manually and click on whatever you want.
Nice.
Spreaker's a douche.
All right, here we go. That's recording. Oh, sorry, just kidding. It's gonna be 1 second. All right, and welcome to. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Let's try this one.
Oh, I can apologize for missing Desmond Bain.
Oh,
does that mean?
Yeah.
I missed him. I didn't get to see him
I like
when
the
he
other
was
one
in
better.
Nashville.
Yeah.
You like the other one better? Cool.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA podcast. My name is Keith Parrish here once again with my buddies through the miracle of computer phone. I'm here with Chuck Anderson.
Hey now.
And with John Burr. Gentlemen, congratulations that the season's over. We did it. Of course, the podcast season never ends. Of course, the NBA interest never ends. I mean, we have a solid 4 more weeks. Everyone's like, "Hey, man, what are you doing now that the season's over?" I'm like, "Listen,
Well,
it's August. August is when the season is over. We don't maybe late July, okay? When Avery Bradley gets signed as someone's absolute last choice, that's when the season's over. I'm just kidding. Avery Bradley's not getting signed this year.
no.
Much like I don't think he got signed until October of last year. Good choice, Lakers. Picking your guy there. But yeah, we're in an exciting time where we just crowned the champions. We can wax poetically about the Warriors if you guys want to. We can also look ahead to the draft, look ahead to free agency, look ahead to summer league, which I know I'm going to enjoy talking about. But before we get there, I guess we should just do breakfast, right? We start with breakfasts. Yeah. John, what did you have for breakfast?
So, you know how sometimes when you're confronted with recently William Shatner went to outer space, right?
Yeah, I saw that blurb. Yeah.
Talked about how daunting and fearful the feelings inside of him were. I don't know, sometimes if you ever look at the ocean and just feel intense fear and feel infinitesimally small.
I am terrified of the ocean, John. Yes.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Well, I get that feeling when I take my child to daycare. And today I had to take my child to daycare and eat donuts with other dads. And I had to sit there with actually, it was a cronut, I think, Chuck. You'll have to, if I should have brought you some evidence to be studied in your CSI lab, but having to make small talk with other dads. And I'm the oldest dad by a lot.
Interesting.
It was a very isolating experience, despite being surrounded by other dudes. It was donuts with dad day.
Donuts with dad at the daycare. What size chair did they give you? Is this one of the situations where they only had preschool?
I'll tell you this: I was too scared to sit in it.
No, did you go crisscross applesauce on the carpet in the middle?
Did you do 2, 1 for each cheek?
I stood.
Oh yeah.
I stood.
Power move.
It is a power move.
I was bullied into it. It was necessitated.
The other dads know who's in charge.
Well, you can tell, if you go in, this was my experience going into the daycare or the preschool for a teacher conference, the 1 year teacher conference. It was absolute power move negotiating stuff where the preschool teacher had a normal size chair.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, "Hey, sorry, we only have chairs for preschoolers that you guys can sit in." And it's just what? It's am I buying a car? Why have you put yourself in a position of power? You're just going to tell me, can my kid identify shapes? What? Why are we doing this? I mean, maybe
the kid smells, little man.
It really felt like I don't know, Tom Cruise from Magnolia. This is how you negotiate for the things you need, the things you want, the things you deserve. I'm sorry, John, you had to go into the daycare world. It can be.
I don't go in often. It's very kind of terrifying. I'm the pickup man. That's the move, because then she's thrilled.
Oh, is she? She's ready to get
the drop off guy. The drop off duty is fallacious.
I mean, here's maybe when your child gets older, you'll have the pleasure I have currently. When I go to pick up my 4-year-old, when she sees it's me, she's on the playground. And listen, I pick her up every single day, so it's not a surprise that it's me. But when she sees it's me, she gives me a thumbs down. She sticks her thumb out and she turns it down. And I'm like, every single day.
Well, I wonder, because you're the primary caregiver in your family.
Well, that's I mean, listen, I'm the unemployed one. Right. I mean, you would think, yes, I was, but right. I don't want to give myself too much credit.
So in my family, the roles are reversed, and Allie is most definitely doing the lion's share of the work. And therefore, I'm the beloved parent, because I'm just hey, that guy's around for 90 minutes a day and he's always in a good mood. So it's really
John,
unfair.
90 minutes a day. That's not enough.
No, it's not.
I was 90 minutes a day.
I'm using car rides to get there.
Oh man.
It's not great. It's not great. I'm hoping it will improve. I'm trying to get to 120 minutes Matt Pinfield level.
Yeah, there's the whole you try to spend some serious time with the child where I hope all right, she'll latch on a little bit. Maybe I can spend
Right.
a solid weekend. And like, so Father's Day was on Sunday. And it's like, this is a day where basically my wife was coaching the 4-year-old
Whoa.
like all week, being like, listen, don't say anything incredibly hurtful today, just today. Just today, because she's quite emotional. And we were driving around the other day, and she was just like, Dad is yuck. The whole family is yuck. The world is yuck. I was like, you ain't wrong, sister. It's pretty good.
Intuitive child.
Yeah, she very intuitive.
Incredible.
Soaks up way too much stuff. Again, in the Christian daycare, comes home, and she's like, I want to die so I can be in heaven, because heaven's perfect.
What have you done?
And it's like, oh man, let's try to unwind this knot. Anyways, Chuck, what was your breakfast?
Wait till she hears about the sins of the flesh.
No, I mean, we've been through it before. The Bible story she picks up, the whole like, if I don't share, do I go to jail? Joseph didn't share his coat and went to jail. Like, that's not. Do we cursed and do we die? No, honey.
Cut off your hand.
That's just the Israelites. They got cursed and had to wander the desert. That doesn't happen anymore.
Daddy, will God tell you to sacrifice me?
Right.
And then say psych. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't even like. We have one of those kids' Bibles, and like my son would ask to like read. I'm not reading that story. Listen,
No.
God's like, Abraham, sacrifice your son. Just psych. Here's a goat. You're off the hook. Like, no, man, that's messed up. That's messed up, and accepting it is messed up. Sorry to get religious early in the morning. Chuck, what was your breakfast?
I'm fasting today, but I'm back. So my lifestyle is about to change. So there's this program called 75 Hard, where you do hard things for 75 days. You pick a diet, do some stuff. But I'm doing a modified 75 hard. I'm doing 60 semi-hard.
Semi-chub.
69 semi-hard?
Yeah. So basically I got up at 6:30 this morning. So I quit my job a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's not too hard.
No, that's not the hard
Semi-hard.
That's semi-hard. But like I'm trying to figure out, and I've been on vacation. I went to Vegas. I went to Austin. Like, I'm trying to organize a little bit of structure in my life.
Got to make sure you spend what little money you have remaining from the job,
because otherwise that's the motivation to get another job.
Break. Yeah.
No, you have to. My experience, you have to exhaust the resources to be like, I guess I have to work now.
Yeah, now I have to go do jobs. But yeah, 60 hard. That's what I did. So I'm going to be vegan for 60 days. So be prepared for some vegan content from your boy.
Great.
I'm deciding to not eat meat for 60 days. But yesterday I went in preparation, went to a vegan bakery called Bite Club, like Fight Club, but for Bite. It's a vegan bakery. They're at
Are we allowed to talk about this?
The first two rules. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. But they had an everything bagel croissant that I had yesterday. Gentlemen, it was, I don't know how they made it taste like butter, because there's obviously no butter in a vegan croissant, but this thing was so buttery and incredible. Shout out Bite Club.
It
was the greatest croissant I ever had.
Bossant?
Wow.
Croissagel?
Croissagel.
You said it was a bagel croissant. It's the cronut.
It was bussin'. That's all it was.
Was bagel the flavor? Everything bagel is the entire flavor?
Is the flavor.
Okay.
So it had all of the everything bagel toppings, the poppies, the sesame.
So we don't have to portmanteau
garlic.
the two words. Okay.
Right. So it's separate, but it was tremendous. And that was my breakfast yesterday.
That's great.
Today I'm fasting because I ate too much.
Gotcha.
Well, if you semi-usually a hard lifestyle just means you can't have everything bagels, I think you can do this.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty on point. I'm going to work out for an hour and a half a day too. That's part of the semi-hard.
Wow. I can't do anything 60 days in a row, so I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah.
Things
that I think I do naturally, I can't do them.
I would say I can't do anything beneficial 60 days in a row. I could do things. So I can self-harm. I could eat candy 6 days in a row.
Yeah. Over consume.
Easily.
Yeah. I'm trying to just build positive habits, and I think you do it a day at a time over long periods of time.
And let me speak from experience. Building those habits when you don't have a job, kind of hard. Kind of difficult. Good luck, Chuck. I'm sure you can
Thanks.
do it. My breakfast, I had leftover Father's Day donuts. That's right. For Father's
Hey
Day.
now.
Got donuts from East Park Bakery that spelled out Dad, D-A-D, 3 separate donuts. They were fine. I mean, I like East Park Bakery. I think these donuts, in anticipation of Father's Day, were made not the morning of Father's Day. I'm just guessing. I don't know. They didn't taste as if they were the freshest. Of course, now I've eaten them 24 hours after receiving them. So I ate them on Sunday. There were 3. I didn't eat all 3. I had leftovers this morning. Still, so not getting any fresher. They were 3 separate flavors. One was just a chocolate covered donut, which tastes like a chocolate covered donut. One was like a apple cinnamon something, which tasted like a very dry fritter. The other one was like a stout, like a beer stout something. It tastes like a donut. I couldn't discern stout or unnatural from just basic donut flavor. But I felt loved. I felt appreciated. So, but it was the leftover. By the way, hold on. I gotta look something up.
You guys see how high Andrew Wiggins was in a photo with Klay Thompson?
I did not.
He's so high.
So, by the way, for Father's Day, my wife got me a pretty cool present where she ordered the sports cards of a lot of famous NBA fathers and put it together. It was kind of fun. And that actually reminds me of a song.
Whoa.
Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. So my wife made this awesome little, they call it a craft project where she made a customized Keith Parrish podcaster card and she put it with the other famous, she was the Father's Hall of Fame. And so this game of scones real quick. Who are the top 5 highest scoring father-son duos in NBA history? It is a little bit hard. It's semi-hard, I guess you'd say. And who are the top 5 father-son scoring duos in NBA history? Let's see if we can get them. I'm not that optimistic. You guys want to work together? We do as a team. Go back and forth.
Come on.
Project.
All right. No, I think John didn't want to do a group project. All right, John, go ahead. Why don't you name one?
I'll do Dell and Steph.
Dell and Steph are number 2. Number 2 on the all-time scoring list for father-son duos.
LeBron and Bronny James.
It's gonna probably
that's a pretty good guess.
Be accurate. If you can just get one 10-day contract, yes, you'd be right. But no, you can do a little bit better.
Yeah, Dell and Steph were my 2. Man.
Most of these now are lots and lots of points for one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there might be one other where they're kind of sort of carrying equal weight.
What about Bill and Luke Walton?
No, it's a great guess. But
Luke sucked.
But Bill Walton did make it onto my gift project. Yes.
Okay.
Bill Walton was represented. John, you would do another one?
I'll do Rick and Brent Berry.
That is correct. Yes, Rick and Brent Berry are number 4.
What about Kobe and his dad?
Number 1, Chuck. Joe and
Jelly
Kobe
Bean
Bryant are.
Okay, I'm going to steal from that method then. Do I have to know the name of their dad? Because Devin Booker and his dad.
No,
they're not on there.
No, okay. not on there. All right, back to you, Chuck. we have 2 left.
What about Doc and Austin Rivers?
Not on there. Doc made also my project of Hall of Fame fathers, and then I had to tell my wife he's not really known as a Hall of Fame father. I mean, the world is complex and difficult, and everyone does just what they can with what they've been given. But the stories are not the best. Anyway, one of these is a current player. We have a current player involved, and then we have a very, very not current players.
What about the boners?
Sabonis?
Oh no, sorry, I got distracted.
Sorry, easily done.
No,
when that's
Arvidas
involved.
Arvidas made my board. It's a great guess. Arvidas Sabonis and Domantas Sabonis not on the board.
I wonder if Michael Thompson has more points than Klay Thompson.
Oh, that's a great guess. God.
There you go, Chuck. Klay and Michael Thompson are number 5.
I demanded to play for money and lost. Sounds like my whole life.
Number 3, and I feel embarrassed. I did not.
Hardaway's didn't get on there.
Hardaway's not on there. Here's number 3, and I feel embarrassed. I didn't know the son of this one. This one was one that was on my little gift I received, and I'm like, I don't know who his son is, and then I felt bad.
Glenn Rice Jr.
Do you guys know who Dolph Shays' son is?
What? Danny
Dolph,
Shays.
Yes,
Dolph.
yes, good job, John.
Thank you.
I thought it was Dolph Lundgren.
This guy, Danny Shays, who again, like
he was good.
He played forever.
Yeah,
He played.
I have a
From
Danny
nine-
Shays. I have a Danny Shays basketball card within arm's reach.
Yeah, like when I looked it up, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember him because I think it's all those. What are those 92 Fleers? He's
Can
in
we
them.
please just spend the rest of the show talking about father-son NBA players?
We can, man. We can. No, Danny Shays played from 1981 until
Yeah.
1999.
That's what I'm talking about. Danny Shays. That's what I'm talking about.
This man played 1,138 games
Oh my
over
God.
19 seasons.
How is Kevin Love's dad and him not on this list? Kevin Love used to average like 30 points a game.
Yeah,
What was
But anyway,
Kevin Love's dad's name?
Bob Love, right?
Stan Love?
Mike Stan Love. Which one's the Beach
Can't
Boy?
remember. That's
Mike.
Mike Love.
It's Stan Love. Stan Love.
don't
is
want
Kevin
no
Love's-
part.
Kevin Love's dad. Well, anyway, that was
The Van Bredikoffs aren't on this list.
That's a good one. Anyway, that was a game of scones. Those were our breakfasts. After our breakfasts, we move to our breakfast in bed apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong on a previous episode. I will start for a factual error. I don't mind just talking about things I don't know that much about for the sake of entertainment. And then we have this whole segment where I can come back and clean up the messes of the things I got wrong. It turns out all the anxiety I expressed for Oklahoma City Thunder players and then possibly not getting those salary cap disbursement payments for the Thunder not hitting the salary floor, that was all settled on the final day of the regular season. So they did not have to sweat out Sam Presti acquiring JaMychal Green in a trade. Like they didn't have to sweat out any more of these roster moves. That was already set. So Kenrich Williams got his bonus. Ty Jerome, Isaiah Roby, they got their bump. It's all good. Vic Krejci did not have to sweat his way through the draft as Presti brings on salary. It was already settled. The Thunder took care of their guys, and at the end of the regular season, I think those checks have already been cashed. So that's.
Hey, now
I apologize for getting that little bit.
Did Xavier
basketball-
Simpson get a hook shot check?
Yeah, it's supposedly prorated.
Okay.
They either give you a full share or, again, I've read about this just a little bit, but if you played over half the games, I think the thought was you got a full share. If you just played partial games, your Xavier Simpson hook shot bonus, you might get like a quarter share. Not sure exactly how it goes.
That's big money for a D-League guy.
I do know that there is a parable that Jesus told us that is very applicable here. If we stick on the basketball teams, the parable of the workers who sign up the early part of the day, they agree on the return they're going to get paid. And then the people who show up at the end of the day get paid the same amount. And the workers who start at the beginning of the day are very upset. And it's just like, did you not agree to this? Do not worry about what other people are getting. You got the thing that you agreed to. They got the thing they agreed to. You can be happy for others.
Man.
Anyways,
we always want to go towards the Bible for collective.
listen, I try to steer the ship towards the holy book whenever possible. Anyways, anything that you guys would like to apologize for? John, what do you need to make right?
First of all, I'm looking forward to Keith having to apologize for leaving me off Pete and Press Maravich off that list.
Oh, wow.
Certainly the pistol had to be on there, right? I don't know. I'll apologize for prematurely congratulating the Celtics on the Derek White maneuver, because that's apparently going to be the scapegoat for them losing. if the podcasts I've listened to, which are all somehow, I guess because it's Ringer related, all just like Celtics despondency podcasts, which are either blissful or horrible depending on your point of view or how you feel about Schadenfreude. But yeah, I'll take an L for thinking that for celebrating too early on the Derek White.
Do you guys know how many points Derek White, Grant Williams, and Peyton Pritchard combined for in games 5 and 6? How many points did Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, and Grant Williams combine for
7
in games 5 and 6?
I'm gonna go with 7.
4.1.
Going with tenths for a total. I like it.
Yeah,
9. They combined for 9. Derek White, and we'll hear more about this in the awards segment of the program. Derek White in games 5 and 6, 1 for 10 from the field, minus 39. Plus minus.
Wow.
That's over 37 minutes. I mean, he was minus 26 in game 6 in 16 minutes.
Oof.
Brutalization.
That brilliant game 1 isn't going to save you there.
I mean, and I also, as a hipster podcaster by trade, I have to love Derek White's game. And I had to be super excited about the trade.
I love to limbo in under a player to draw a charge.
It is the one. No one's perfect. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. But I really like Derek White, and I was with you, John. I thought the trade for Derek White was awesome. I love the Celtics went for it, and then in the playoffs, even it seemed like it was good enough, and then it fell apart. And I don't know now. Do we circle him as like? Did he fall down to the depths of not a 16-game player? Not a 16-game player?
Maybe the Celtics team culture, maybe we misidentified it. And maybe part of the team culture is not knowing how to dribble or pass. So maybe he was just really buying in to the Celtics team culture, spearheaded by Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, of having no idea how to dribble or pass.
Right. And then from Jason Tatum averaging 21 points on 20 shots during the series.
Kobe tribute.
He could have taken his shooting stroke from Jason.
I think Tatum, I think Tatum was showing Grant Williams. I think Derek White maybe was taking too much from Tatum with the, hey, if you think there's any chance the referee might call something, just throw it up. Like Derek White's, all of his shots, they were just so off balance. Like he never seemed under control. Tatum, I'm convinced he was significantly hurt. Like he shot. I mean, all right, the Warriors defense is awesome. Andrew Wiggins, he shut down, and he basically shut down Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, and Dylan Brooks in the same playoff run.
Dylan Brooks. That's not really. That's not really the way the Warriors play defense, though. Like it's kind of like
no. The Warriors defense was so good. It was so good. But like Tatum shot 31% on twos and 66% from the line. Me that screams injury.
Well, I wanted to know what you thought of this.
Bus pipes.
I wanted to know what you thought of this, Keith, because I know you and I both got really frustrated with Taylor Jenkins for playing so many players. And then Steve Kerr, a lot of times you're like, why is he pulling stuff out? They're going to go on this insane run. Maybe there was something to just the sheer minutes that the Boston Wings had to play compared to regular season, because like, also, Jason Tatum had so many air balls and was short arming so many shots.
That's the one.
Was he just exhausted?
He's 20. He's 22 years old.
21.75. He gets younger, actually, the more Tatum plays.
I don't know how much I buy into that.
Jason Tatum.
He did definitely play way more. He played more games than anybody. He played more minutes.
He has
in the playoffs than anybody.
I think I read somewhere, and I could be wrong and be apologizing for this next week, but he's like top 30 in all-time playoff minutes. Jason Tatum is now.
You mean already?
I thought he had the second most minutes ever in the playoffs, and they didn't even go to Game 7 in this. I think
that doesn't feel right because everyone
next week in the apology segment.
It doesn't feel right because everyone used to play all the playoff minutes. Of course, we have 7-game series in the first rounds. Back when Wilt Chamberlain was playing 48 minutes a game in the playoffs, they had like 3 rounds of the playoffs. Yeah, he also, I mean, he set the record for the most turnovers in a single playoffs. I don't know who's the next person who's gonna break that. But I mean, I guess we do give the credit to the Warriors, and the Warriors, the way that they just said, you know what, we're going to win on defense. I thought that was kind of amazing. It felt like a different direction that the NBA is even going in, where they said, hey, we're not Jordan Poole. I mean, he was amazing, where he scored wherever it was 30 points in 30 minutes over the last 2 games.
It's kind of weird that the Celtics are like the one team to not ever find a way to make the Warriors pay for playing Jordan Poole. You would think I didn't feel like he got picked on at all.
But they played a lot of zone when he was in too. It felt like, at least.
But they didn't even play him that much. Like they played him 15 minutes a game in the ones that mattered, and it was just they basically did it when the Celtics went to their bench, and guess what? The Celtics bench could not score, as we've already highlighted.
Pritchard's buns.
But then they played like all these Gary Payton 2 minutes. They played just like defensive lineups, and the Celtics couldn't score 100 points in a game, which felt wild. I also noticed that if you look at like the final 8 teams, I think 6 of them were top 7 in defense. Is that right? Like it's the Warriors and Celtics were 1 and 2 in defense in the regular season. Heat were 4. I think the Suns were 3. The Grizzlies were 5.
Mavs were 7.
The Mavs, I think, were 7. And it's like those are all. I don't know if we've had a playoffs like this in a long time where all of the best defensive teams in the regular season made it to the second round. Apologies to the Caps for not being any good at all, despite having a really good defense. Chuck, do you have anything you need to apologize for?
Yeah, last week I recorded with Keith in a Airbnb in a situation where I had to like keep my voice down. So I apologize for that. But also I was, going through the internet and I see a picture of Andrew Wiggins looking super duper blazed.
Chonged out.
He looking like he's in the Bay Area for real, with Klay Thompson, who probably is equally as blazed, but does the smart move of wearing sunglasses in all his photos. But what I found out is, and this is the first time I heard about this, was Juan Toscano Anderson, shout out, first Mexican-American ever to win a championship in the NBA. That's huge. But his Instagram handle is the greatest Instagram handle I've ever seen. It's Juan on Juan 10. What? Well, how come I didn't know that? And I'm sorry if you are just finding that out, people in Fastbreak Breakfast land. I should have known this for you. This is the duty of me to find hilarious puns that are related to the world of basketball. And just now finding out Juan Toscano Anderson's Instagram handle was Juan on Juan 10. Shout out JTA.
Shout out JTA.
Who didn't play at all.
That doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, like
a chip's a chip, a ring's a ring.
I know, but like
I'm sort of joking.
I thought, at the beginning of the year, he was playing a lot of minutes when they were really good, and then that ended, and then you didn't.
Well, this just goes back to Kerr, where they leaned on his entire roster all season. It's something he does, but then when he got to the playoffs, he understood his roster, and he's like, you know what, you guys aren't playing. We're gonna play these people. I'm going to try to play Iguodala. That went terribly. No, I'm going to now play other players who are better. By the way, the Wiggins thing, I don't know how much this structure of the show, we're going to keep talking about the Warriors, so I'm going to go and squeeze this in. I mean, Andrew Wiggins was awesome in the finals. He was, I believe, comfortably the Warriors' second best player. He was definitely the most consistent player besides Steph Curry. Averages 18 and 8 for the finals. In Game 6, Wiggins became... He's the 3rd player to ever have at least 5 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks in a finals game.
Wow.
The other 2 are LeBron and Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
This guy just did everything.
He did.
An absolute transformation of Andrew Wiggins.
If you're not using this
blown
to
away.
Make a Wiggins should have got MVP argument, I don't want to hear it.
Well, also, all right, let's wrap up our apologies with, honestly, this is something I don't normally find interesting, but maybe it's just my aging. Maybe it's looking at my children and facing the mortality of whatever. Just thinking about life in the grand scope of the NBA. This Warriors win, it's such like a big chapter in the history of the NBA. Like I feel like it's like this crowning achievement for Steph Curry. It establishes them as this dynasty. It's like one of the more impactful when you're writing the narrative or the history of the NBA finals we've had in a while. I think like the LeBron title with the Lakers, that one's huge. I mean, just the history of the Lakers, they have a lot, and LeBron, winning a title on his third different team. But like this Steph thing, where he was clearly the best player in the finals, where no one could take anything away from it, where he has an incredible closeout game, and he's by far the best player in the series, and then them winning another title without Durant. It's just huge to me. We can stop this section now as I just express those things. But like, I don't know. I was really moved. Like, that was a really big title. Like, that was a really huge title for the history of the NBA.
And I think that, like, Steph kind of figured that out too. Like, it was wonderful to watch how emotive he got when he figured it out. Also, there were parts during the game where like they were up 22 at one point in the third, and he hit that crazy shot. Celtics call a timeout, and he puts his hands on his head, like he's like, "Oh no, this is going to happen." Yeah, and I think it built into him the gravity of it all. But yeah, I think what could have been my best this week was Bill Simmons losing his mind talking about the Warriors not being a dynasty, and that incredible, like, to have this sort of sustained excellence for the Warriors, short of them losing a cornerstone player for 2 years, and those 2 years, the only 2 years that were resembling bad, is incredible.
But the Warriors winning this year, it retroactively lets us adjust the narrative for the last 2 seasons. It now corrects that. Like, I think we talked about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, like, hey, Draymond was kind of bad in those years. Maybe he didn't try. Winning this title now retroactively basically makes it okay. Right. It's like, oh yeah, he knew they didn't have a chance to win a title, so we can assign a bunch of narrative towards. Yeah, all right.
Draymond is so confusing.
He was saving himself. Yeah, Draymond was amazing in Game 6, and you could definitely be like, all right, he was saving himself in these seasons where he's like, you know what, we can't win the title. We don't have Klay. We don't have the horses. We're not going to do it. Kelly Oubre is not the guy. We can't win with Kelly, or whatever. And then now it's like, all right, now you win this title, and it retroactively makes everything look smart. It makes everything look, the front office
calculated.
Yeah, they didn't make a move at the trade deadline. Brilliant. It's like winning the title erases everything, and then putting the title in the record books just changes the whole history, basically. Like the last 8 years, you're like, no, this is the team. Like it's Steph, and it is Klay, and it's Draymond. And I'm all about, I mean, listen, I know Bill Simmons' semantics thing. Like, if you miss the playoffs, it's not a dynasty. It doesn't bother me. I don't mind Bill Simmons' attempts to frame history. Even people who are like the Spurs weren't a dynasty because teams won back-to-back on their watch, and you can't have that happen for a dynasty. Whatever.
Lord.
We can come up with a new word.
Dynasty with absolute tyranny.
Yeah. So again, I like yours, John. Let's go with absolute tyranny. But like, it's just it's a remarkable. That makes
Jimmy Butler John Wilkes Booth.
It's a remarkable run for the Warriors. It's a remarkable run for Steph Curry. I will now open up my mind to all the like Steph's better than this guy. Like fill in the blank. Like Durant. Like, okay, Durant looks like he's better at basketball. Steph wins. So like I've now opened my mind. Like yeah, sure. I don't mind saying Steph's better historically. I don't get much into historical rankings, but it's just like this title again. It shifts so much, and maybe that's like a fault. It's a faulty way to talk about the NBA, but it's basically how we talk about the NBA. Like once the titles happen, then we go back and
rebuild our narrative,
retcon the stories. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, anyways, those were all our apologies. Before we get to our steak and eggs best thing, got a word from our sponsor. All Grizz all the time. Stay connected and follow the Memphis Grizzlies on all social channels at MemGrizz and also at Grind City Media. Follow on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for breaking news, one-of-a-kind content, and all the perspectives you won't find anywhere else. All right, steak and eggs, best thing. What's the best thing you saw in the last week? John, what's your steak and eggs?
So for me, it's kind of like a larger concept that I'm just pleased that the two teams that were in the finals that were rewarded for their efforts weren't run by like a Robert Sarver type last year. Like it feels bad to me when teams like the Suns do well. Like these are two teams, like despite, we poked fun at the Derek White trade earlier. We poked fun at Kelly Oubre earlier. These are teams willing to spend money and use assets to try and win. I'm just glad that two teams like that, were rewarded for it.
I also like, I mean, we've talked about it before, like, you want to call it the homegrownness of the rosters. It's just like they drafted all these guys, and maybe it's not fair to, I don't know. I think it is fair that the Warriors have the resources to spend all this money, but technically all these billionaire owners, they could do it if they wanted to.
Yeah. I mean,
pretty sure they could do it if they wanted to.
The TV deals are insane now. They're making tons of money every game through concessions, etc. Like, it's insane how much money they're making, and why not just try to, that's why, like, as much as we give, Vivek Ranadive a hard time, but at least he's trying in his own, abortive, insane way. Like, some teams, like Sarver, doesn't try to do this. Like, he has to stumble into it. Like, they didn't think signing Chris Paul was going to be the most, galaxy brain maneuver. It's just, I'm just pleased there was no Sarvers this.
Well, I mean, all right.
around.
So here's a pushback. The Celtics, we know they gave the Grizzlies Desmond Bane in the draft 2 years ago. They did that for salary cap reasons. They did that to not pay the luxury tax.
I think that was when they did not. But when they saw that they had the chance, they pushed forward. Also, this is a different regime as well. This is a new Brad Edwards or Brad Stevens. Just this is his role now. And I feel like spending a first for Derek White is
2 firsts.
Yeah, 2 firsts. That's right. Is that that tells you what they're about.
Yeah, it's just. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you that it's exciting, kind of like these. I don't want to say type of teams. I mean, also, if you want to poke weirdness at the owners, you can find bad stuff on every owner on the NBA. But anyways, Chuck, what's your best thing?
My best thing is, so the Hornets have been in the news of late. Yeah. Kenny Atkinson decided to not be their coach after basically saying he would. He said take backs, and he took back what psych. That's what he did. Another psych. And I think we know why now. We have word coming from Kentucky that Montrezl Harrell got caught with 3 pounds of weed. What are you doing driving your own weed around, multimillionaire? Get a guy. You should have a weed guy. Yeah. That comes shortly
Chuck's
after.
Unemployed. Chuck will be your weed guy.
I'll deliver your drugs for you. And I won't even do them. Then there was Miles Turner posting a picture of codeine and promethazine in a cup. Looked like with
Miles Bridges.
It's Miles Bridges. Forgive me.
Is that lean? Yeah, Miles Turner posts pictures.
My
of
bad. Miles Bridges.
Yeah, Miles Turner posted a life-size Lego Darth Vader, a custom Lego Darth Vader that was 7 feet tall. That's what Miles Bridges is doing. Miles Turner. No,
Miles Bridges is out
going
here
on an apology tour next week,
sipping lean and doing and smoking dope, like on that shit. And then LaMelo's been videographed smoking a backwoods, and let me tell you something about backwoods cigars.
Tells me a lot.
You don't smoke them for fun. And I mean, we go back. Malik Monk got suspended for.
He's a Laker.
He's a Laker now, but when he was with the Bobcat or he was with the Hornets, he was doing a little booger sugar.
That's that Boone County lifestyle.
So maybe Kenny Atkinson did the right thing. He, when half the team needs rehab, you probably don't want to take that job.
First of all, Chuck, a lot of things to unpack here. First of all, the Kenny Atkinson thing, I'm stunned. Yet another person has chosen James Wiseman over LaMelo Ball. That blows my mind. It happened again. I got it. Montrezl Harrell, stop. All right. He got pulled over for following too closely, and then his car got searched based on smell of marijuana. Those things that screams racial profiling. That screams like those are not reasons to have your car searched. But Montrez innocent until proven guilty.
When you have 3 pounds of weed in your car, it might smell like weed, though.
That part's true. That part's true. You make a good point. Don't have it on you. You can have other people have it for you. No, I am curious about this Kenny Atkinson thing, because like, who does that? Who turns down a head coaching job to stay assistant coach?
So that feels like he's been assured that when Steve Kerr's back, it finally explodes, that he's the next guy up. Is that right?
Yeah, you would think that something similar to that, like Steve Kerr's like, hey, listen, my back isn't getting better. I now have what? Do I have 9 titles? How many titles does Kerr have?
9.
Like, yeah, I have
I did
9. I
count
have
them.
9 titles. I'm unbelievably wealthy. I might take an 80-game vacation next year. I might retire soon.
Run
By the
for
way,
office.
Maybe Steph Curry's like, you know what? I'm actually not returning to my hometown team.
No,
Hornets.
he's going to go get his master's degree.
I'm just gonna chill here. Yeah, it does feel like maybe Kenny Atkinson found out. I don't know. Maybe found out that the Kerr is like, listen, I got 1 year max left in me. So if you want to stick around, you might have a good. I mean, I know they would do a full and exhaustive coaching search. It also might be he read the Shams Charania intel that the Hornets are having second thoughts about maybe matching a max offer sheet for Miles. What's his last name?
By
Bridges?
intel, do you mean series of deleted tweets?
I don't know. What's the one they posted? I know Shams' job is basically to like, he just pokes the fire. He just takes the stoker and is like, listen, I'm gonna what is this? Monday? I'm gonna fire off something about Kyrie. I'm gonna say this team isn't thinking about bringing their guy back. But yeah, it is weird that Kenny Atkinson decided to stay with the Warriors. My best thing is about one of my favorite all-time NBA players. And I'm going to paint a picture here that is admittedly poorly researched and possibly incorrect. It's about things I don't know that much about, much like the salary cap disbursement payments to the Thunder players. But the way I've envisioned this story, it's like an unbelievable sports movie. And so I'm just going to keep it with my framing of it. And if I have to correct it on a future episode, I will. But Marc Gasol, who was salary dumped by the Lakers, traded to the Grizzlies like 9 months ago, and then left the NBA. Thank you for the second round pick, Lakers. Marc Gasol played this year for the club that he owns and also founded. In 2014, Marc Gasol founded a basketball academy, Basket Girona. And in 2017, they're like, hey, we're going to put out a senior men's team. We're going to join the Spanish professional leagues. We're going to be in the we're going to start in the 4th division. I'm creating a basketball league or a basketball team. And this club, once he left the NBA, he's like, you know what? This investment I have, this thing I own, this thing I run that I'm passionate about, I'm going to invest myself in it. I'm going to go play for this team. And as they've climbed through the Spanish professional divisions over the last few seasons, now Gasol plays for him this year. And on Sunday, they gained promotion to the top tier, the Spanish ACB League. And so Gasol has taken this thing he started just a few years ago and then played for it and won promotion to the top league. This is better than Ted Lasso. This is better than anything. This is like that Leeds United documentary I watched. Make it out of here. This guy went and played for the team he founded and already has made it to the top level. I assume this is a very financially lucrative thing. If that's not the case, I apologize. But I'm just happy for Mark. He got that Lakers stink off him. We thought maybe he would just come swooping in post trade deadline as like a random free agent pickup for one of these good teams. No, he's like, you know what? I got to play for Basket Girona. I got to win promotion for my club that I founded. So, I mean, hats off to you, Marc Gasol. It's just a beautiful moment.
What a life.
What a life. Anyways, those were our best thing. The opposite of our best thing is our cream of wheat worst thing. What's the worst thing you saw in the last week? Chuck, what's your worst thing?
Well, my worst thing has to do with the sad news that Boban is no longer with the Dallas Mavericks. I've followed Boban's his playing career is not the greatest in the NBA. But what I love is figuring out Boban's best friend on whatever team he's on. And I worry that he might not match with the guys down in Houston.
You don't think Boban could hit the club with Kevin Porter Jr.?
Those boots aren't that big.
I don't think I don't think he's a strip club guy. He's the kind of guy that rides a mini motorcycle in the arena, and he guest stars in violent action movies starring Keanu Reeves. I don't know who he's going to be.
He also guest stars in uplifting sports, family-friendly ish movies on Netflix.
Oh yeah, Hustle, which I found. Who cares? I found it
strangely entertaining. I haven't watched the end.
Yeah,
I had my doubts. I'm like, this feels like homework that I have to watch this because this is made for NBA stuff and I cover the NBA. But when I turned it on, I'm like, oh, this is like
an Adam Sandler movie.
I would say it's an above average paint by number sports movie where I was like, this is much more entertaining. And the cameos, come on. Willie Hernan Gomez playing Willie Hernan Gomez, playing against his brother Juancho, but not being brothers. And I found that delightful. He took Willie's spot in a pickup game. Spoiler early on, but I found that again, this is all I need. All I need is the NBA faces sprinkled in.
Hate to ruin the end for you, but Adam Sandler gets murdered in a jewelry store. So,
yeah, man. Tough break. Tough break.
But yeah, I just hope he finds maybe Şengün and him get along. There's this there could be a blossoming big man.
No, it has to be. Come on, this is
a little
basic
person,
entertainment.
Right?
It has to be mismatch. It has to be a mismatch or it doesn't work.
So Eric Gordon, is he there in a week? It just puts me. Also, how dare Mark Cuban? He has our Boban shirt that you can find on tpublic.com.
No, you can't. The lawyers took it away.
Really? Oh, wow. Well, then you know what? Boban, who do you think Boban? Did you think Boban took?
No, Boban bought a bunch for his family. Boban's kids are wearing our shirt. I don't think Boban had a problem with it. But I know the lawyers took it down. But hey, here's the thing. I wondered if there's a way. Couldn't the Rockets somehow work out something for Tobias Harris to bring back the Bobby and Toby?
I want Bobby and Toby. That's my favorite.
Like an Eric Gordon, Kenyon Martin Jr. asked for a trade, which, by the way, that's subjectively hilarious. Like, if you're the eighth,
couldn't handle those Jayshawn Tate minutes.
If you're an eighth or ninth man on a 20-win team, he's like, guys, I can't. I need to find a new opportunity. You guys are going to draft the big man. I need to find a new opportunity. It's like, dude, I don't know if it works like that. Yeah, I hope Boban. I hope
he out or something, and he ends up somewhere good.
So he can get bought out and end up in Philadelphia. He can't go back to the Mavericks because of the weird. That's like a Heat rule, right? Was it Jason Williams got traded and then bought out and then went back and signed? Actually, I think Jason Williams got permission from the NBA to have that 12-month thing waived so he could join the Grizzlies. And I think all the owners were like, "Yeah, that's cool. He's not good anymore." Like no one cared. Again, maybe I'm misremembering this story as well. Going to be a doozy for our fact checkers.
All apologies.
Yeah, our fact checkers after this one. John, what's your worst thing?
So ever since the draft became, kind of only maybe at best 50% college players, the cramming I have to do in the 3 days before the draft is overwhelming to me. And the stuff that the stuff I have access to, whether it's like grainy Zapruder films of Giannis playing in gyms that are only like a third of the size of regular gyms on 9-foot hoops, really kind of freak me out. Like there's too much Chairman Yee footage running around. I just feel lost. I just want to take all international players just because I don't want to feel foolish when we take,
John, there are literally the fewest international players in a draft basically ever. There's 5.
Wild.
There's 5.
Yeah, but there's guys, I just don't get this. I need to see someone I need my Mathurin stuff where I have a guy play 2 really great tournament games. I can overvalue him and be upset when we don't draft him.
All right. So here I understand that, we're all racing against the clock trying to figure out draft stuff. I've been doing it over in Grits and Grinds. I've actually learned enough. But I've actually devised something that I think might actually help us. What's that song? Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, double Dinklage, double Dinklage, double Dinklage, double Dinklage. That's right. 2 Game of Scones in 1 episode. This Game of Scones is NBA draft prospect or a main character in the Hunger Games film trilogy. I'm going to give you a name, and you tell me draft prospect or main character in the Hunger Games film trilogy.
I'm in deep trouble.
John, you wasted one of mine, Benedict Mathurin. We're going to have to skip that one. NBA draft prospect. All right, we're going to go back and forth. Whoever misses the most loses. All right, Chuck. Ty Washington.
That's a real name.
They're all
For the
real
NBA.
names. NBA,
I mean,
correct.
NBA.
Correct. All right. Ishmael Comagate. That's for you, John.
Hunger Games.
I'm sorry, draft prospect.
Ah!
All right, John. Chuck. Trevor Keels.
Prospect.
Oh, that's correct. All right, John. Seneca Crane.
Very stoic name. Hunger Games.
No, that's correct. Well played, John. Well played. Caesar Flickerman.
Hunger Games.
Oh, yes,
Prospect.
Chuck. You're on fire.
Oh,
on
too good.
fire.
Too good.
John. Taze Moore.
One more time.
Taze Moore.
Prospect.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Taser face.
Hugo Besson.
That's a Hunger Games player.
No, that's an NBA prospect.
Ooh. Son of the French filmmaker?
All right, John.
Yes.
Dominic Barlow.
I feel like I've heard.
Is he a cast member from The Wire?
Prospect.
That is a prospect. Very, very, very well played. Chuck. Claude Templesmith.
Woo!
Damn, that's a great name.
John Le Carre character.
Hunger Games.
Oh, it's well played. John.
Mhm.
Hamish Abernathy.
Hey, Mitch.
Hamish Abernathy.
Is it sure it's not pronounced Hamich?
I don't know. Listen, I could have gotten some of these pronunciations
Hunger
incorrect.
Games.
That's
Hunger
Hunger Games. Good job. Good job. Gail Hawthorne.
Hunger Games.
You guys are on fire.
It's a woman's name.
Gail can go both ways.
One Gail Goodrich, and here we are.
Dyson Daniels.
Should be a
This is
prospect.
Chuck.
Now it's
Oh,
my
sorry.
turn.
Yeah,
Be a
he's a top 10.
Yeah.
I was stretching myself.
Thank you.
Coriolis Snow.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, that's a main character.
Yeah.
All right, John, how about Foxface? Foxface. One word.
I feel like played for CSKA Moscow. Hunger Games.
Chuck, how about female morphling? Female morphling. Also, Hunger Games. Did you guys know Malachi Branham? Malachi Branham.
That's a prospect.
Prospect.
Marjan Beauchamp.
Prospect.
Yeah.
Oats
You guys did good.
Yang.
You guys did
I'm
good.
big cramming.
I lost
You didn't
track.
do the fat guy. Who's the fat guy who played quarterback? I keep forgetting his name.
Roddy? David Roddy?
Yeah. Should have put him in there.
What about
Roddy
Christian
Rich.
Braun, Chuck? Christian Braun.
Man. Hunger Games.
Rock Chalk.
Christian Braun
he's
was
the
my
white guy
Vacation
who
Bible
dunks.
School character name. I was
Uh-huh.
Christian Braun. No, yeah, he's a white guy from Kansas. I wouldn't give John that one. Anyway, good job, guys. I think my worst thing is how I feel like I know things about the draft, and I know it's false. Like I have strong opinions about the draft based on just reading people. And I could come up with my own mock draft because honestly, every mock draft seems to be exactly the same. It seems like there's a bunch of groupthink, but like I'm obsessed with Tari Eason. Never seen him play a basketball game. I want him to be drafted by the Grizzlies so badly. I know it's foolish, but that's where I am. Anyways, those were our worst things. Before we get to the awards segment of the program, and a couple of listener submitted questions. the croissant questioner.
Patrick Kirkner asks, have y'all ever looked at Matt Geiger's IMDb page? No, but I'm doing it now.
As I speak.
And here's the thing. I didn't. I knew what the question was going to be, but I didn't want to look it up beforehand.
Okay.
Is he in Michael Mann's Miami Vice, which I watched for the 7th time this weekend? I'd be
playing a white supremacist. I don't think so. Looks like we just have.
He did
a role.
He did sound engineering,
Adventure Scouts, Foley engineer. That might just be farting into a microphone.
Were they saving money as a Foley? Because would that just be the guy? That's the guy that's making sound effects, right?
He's a sound designer
correct.
too, dialogue editor.
He is known for Adventure Scouts, preferred customers, and waiting for the coroner. Wow. All in 2010. Very busy 2010. Visual effects.
There's a picture of him from
Trivia, retired from the NBA after 3.5 disappointing seasons with 76ers.
What a terrible choice. What a rude trivia. Oh man. He's on the poster for this movie Adventure Scouts, which is the one-line summary is a group of kids take down a motorcycle gang. So
motorcycle gang.
Our very own Chuck Anderson lookalike Matt Geiger is on the poster. He's in the back because he's the tallest. Tall man curse in the back of the. I don't know any of the other names.
Turns out in 98-99, he was second on the Sixers in scoring and led the team in free throw percentage.
Corbin Timbrook, NBA prospect or actor.
He was in
Adventure Scouts.
He was in Adventure Scouts for sure.
That's right. Corbin Timbrook. Definitely in there. I have another croissant questionnaire. Orange Whip. We got 2 questions tied together. Orange Whip asked, how about a penalty box for NBA games for fouls? And then Magnus follows up that someone once suggested as a free throw alternative, the team that gets fouled, they get to inbounds the ball, but the person who committed the foul would be in a penalty box of sorts and then would have to start the possession on the other end of the court. What do we think about this? Because that would encourage like power plays. If you commit a foul, you have to sit out of the game for a few seconds after the ball is inbounded. What do we think of this basketball rules change?
I think it's a great way to add a little bit of texture to a basketball game. I think it would be unfair in certain situations to allow certain players to like stay on the court when like they should be gone. But I love this. It gives like a wonderful like wrinkle.
I love the idea.
And I love like 3-on-2 fast breaks. So that would probably make that happen more.
I think, there's the one idea of that if you start at one end of the court, I don't like that as much because that would probably only give you like a few seconds of a power play. But if it was something where it's like you had to wait 5 seconds and then you had to run from the end of the court, so the other team would have you'd have 9 seconds where you got to play 5-on-4, and then we would have all these new plays, these out of bounds plays, where you have this quick power play. So maybe we'd have some more stuff there.
We could also do like a thing instead of like having them like in a box waiting. They could just be like tethered to a referee, like a kid at the mall.
Where the referees actually have a hook, like a little spongy thing. You have to stay within 10 meters of Zach Zarba for this entire possession. I think it's a great life hack.
We already hunt fouls. Do you not worry that this would just be like the next level of foul hunting?
Well, that's, anytime someone is talking about anytime someone says like, hey, let's fix clear path fouls by making whatever it is, 2 shots in the ball, 3 shots, referee discretion, you're just, once again, the flip side of that is going to be now on fast breaks, instead of going for the fast break, Derek White's going to go run into a player.
Right.
He's going to try to get the clear path or like the take foul thing. And then it's like, that wasn't a take foul. He was trying to play good defense. And so it's, I don't know. There's always.
We're going to start seeing like slide tackles.
Negative consequences. Well, and also, again, take fouls, there's a benefit to them where you don't have to foul someone hard to get the whistle. You get the call you want without injuring anybody. If now it's no longer take fouls are not a thing. All right, then I'm gonna Marcus Smart's gonna go for the steal and take somebody out. And it's like, well, it's what we careful what you wish for. Monkey's paw and everything. Anyways, those were the croissant questions. If you have a question you want answered on air, you have to become a Patreon supporter. Do that at patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. If we don't get to it on air in the regular episode, we will cover it in the monthly Zoom hangout, a little bonus video hangout we do with the Patreon supporters. Also, I need to find out who won. Crap.
The playoff game?
Yeah, I totally forgot about it. I'm going to do that right now. If I can. Nope, I can't do it right now. I have no idea.
Feel like
I haven't even tabulated it.
okay.
I have no idea. Also, you can join our Slack chat. As far as our Stone Cold Locks playoff challenge, I apologize. I have not announced the winner of that. Have not done the final math. I will be doing that today after I post this episode, and I will alert the winner in the Slack chat. The Warriors winning in 6. Lots of people thought that was going to happen. So we'll definitely name the winner of that entire challenge. Get your gift card, get your cash prize if you joined the optional cash prize. So if you want to get involved with the games like the Stone Cold Locks challenge, play in our free agency and trade game, which will launch very, very soon, and just support the program, do it all at patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. All right, it is now time for the awards segment of the program, the International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award, given to the worst performance in a box score. There was one NBA game in the last 6.5 days.
Pretty good one in there, though.
It was pretty good. Game 6, where the Warriors win the title. We have 3 nominees just from this game. Game 6, Klay. Whoopsie. Klay was 5 for 20 from the field, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, and 3 personal fouls. Game 6, Jason Tatum. 6 for 18 from the field, 13 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block, 5 turnovers, 3 personal fouls. And then game 6, Derek White. Only 6 field goal attempts, but 1 for 6, had 2 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul, and good God, minus 26 in 16 minutes.
Hey, now.
So we have Klay Thompson in a win. 5 for 20, 12 points. It's so terrible. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Tatum, 6 for 18, 13 points, 7 assists, 5 turnovers. Derek White, 1 for 6, 2 points, 2 assists.
I'm a Klay theist.
Yeah, Klay theist for you, John?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really bad. But what was bad was like, you didn't notice how bad it was until the game was over. I wasn't like watching the game going, man, Klay's stinking the place up. It was just at the end.
You should have been sitting besides me as I was muttering. Klay's really stinking this up.
I didn't know the way I was watching it. I saw towards the end of the game when his box score was, I was like, oh my God. But yeah, I'll go with Klay too. It's just funny. It's the funny one. I'll
do it to avenge Jaren Jackson Jr., a man of honor, who was called a bum for no reason in the post-game press conference. I've got you, Klay Thompson. Congratulations. on this week's International Stackhouse Award win. I mean, listen, 20 field goal attempts and 12 points of all the players in NBA Finals history to attempt at least 20 field goals in the finals and to shoot under 30% from the field. That might be too many qualifiers. There are 61 of these people. If you throw out Joe Fulks, there's only about 40. And that's the sixth fewest points. Actually, I'm going to remove one qualifier and edit this part out of the show. Of all the players to attempt at least 20 field goal attempts in a finals game, Klay had the sixth fewest points. Our Hall of Fame, the five players to have fewer points on 20 field goal attempts in a finals game, count them down 5-1. George Mikan, Bill Sharman, Kobe Bryant, Don Carlson from the 1947 Chicago Stags. And number one, of course, Kenyon Martin. Made his 3 for 23 finals game.
I was trying to yell Kenyon Martin, but I was on mute.
Yeah, make Kenyon Martin's 3 for 23 finals game live in infamy. Congratulations, Klay Thompson. Yes, you won another title. Yes, you returned from 900 days off of the NBA. You fought back from agonizing, gruesome injuries. And all you got is an International Stackhouse of Pancakes award. Deal with that, bum. Parfait away, gentlemen. What things are we looking forward to in the coming week?
The aforementioned draft. Should be fun.
Draft night's the best.
Should be fun. The large suits are gone, but the big trades are back. Should be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to yes, the draft. We might do a playback. I might do a playback for some of that. Just keep posted to the social medias for information about that. But like, not just the draft and the fact that we're going to have, I think, a ton of trades. But like just this weird new Kyrie report is essentially, it's like a fishing expedition for the Knicks to start trading away draft assets to clear cap space. They're like, hey, we might get Jalen Brunson or Kyrie Irving. Here's a first round pick for someone to take Alec Burke and Kimball Walker's deals. We got to clear some room. So like, this is one of the best weeks. I mean, the player movement, the drafting, and then leading into free agency. This is heaven. Also having it occur at like not set times where I can do other things, where I don't have to sit and watch the games. I just wait till my phone tells me, hey, it's go time. Let's do some stuff. So yeah, I'm ecstatic about this whole week. Chuck, what do you got going on?
Miami Heat trade talks. Who knows what's going to happen?
You're getting Beal. I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
I feel like the Beal's on his way.
Who's taking Duncan Robinson's massive?
It's not that big. It's like less than 20 million.
Relatively.
Look at you like Pat Riley on the phone. It's not that big.
I mean, it's not that big. And he's got 2 years.
Should have challenged me to a push-up contest.
Semi-big. Semi-big.
It's semi-big.
19 million is nothing. It's nothing.
Semi-Ojale. That's a clean swap.
I'm looking forward to the wheelings and dealings and movings and shakings and see what the free agency market bears out and what Miami can do. My team, Miami Heat, can do with a little bit of they got a little draft asset.
John, that Duncan Robinson deal fits perfectly in the Grizzlies salary cap space if the Grizzlies choose to go that route. So I mean,
all trades involving Dylan Brooks, I'm for. All trades involving literally any other player make me sad.
Sign and trade Kyle Anderson, bring him to Miami, baby. He'd fit in beautifully.
He means more to us.
I am looking forward to launching. I'm looking forward to launching my next podcast, which will be whichever teams end up with Kyle Anderson or D'Anthony Melton. That will be my new podcast. It's called the Melton Slow-Mo Show. That's all I'm going to do. Just cover D'Anthony Melton games and Kyle Anderson games. Seriously.
What if they get shipped to the Pelicans?
You think I'm joking? Oh my God. If they got to play with Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, and Zion Williamson, I'm leaving Grizzliesdom. I don't think this agreement we have with Grind City Media forbids me from switching my podcast to Grizzlies podcast to Pelicans podcast. Hey, they're in the region. That's
The,
I'm
original.
the masked podcaster.
you can yell at me.
It's a
Come
more
on.
fun city to visit.
If Melton, well, I'm deleting that.
Hey, wow, you're gonna get us canceled, bro.
These are the facts, Jack. That's Nolans.
No, yeah, you give me Melton on this Pelican squad. Yeah, I'll change my stripes so fast. Anyways, if you want Grizzly season tickets for next year, now's the time to lock in the best seats at the lowest prices. You get all the biggest matchups: the Nets, the Warriors, the Lakers, the Pelicans, with 2022-2023 Grizzlies season tickets. Also, as an MVP member, you receive the next level benefits like special events, merchandise discounts, NBA League Pass, and more. To get those season tickets, call 901-888-HOOP or click grizzlies.com today. If you want to support our show, do that at patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. Follow us on Twitter at Fastbreak Break. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow John, Master John Burr. Follow Chuck, the Mighty Chuck. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
All right. See you guys.
All right, boys.
All right.